are filming on the 15th of February, and Arsenal are currently first in the Premier League, first in the Champions League, in a Carabao final against Man City that I could see them losing it, and they're also in the FA Cup. If Arteta is not winning any trophy, would you sack him at the end of the season?
No. Gonçalo Garcia has already 13 goal involvements this season with Real Madrid. Brilliant for a player that in the beginning of the season he didn't. People say that he has not a chance.
But in the FIFA Club World Cup, he proved himself, and that was the reason why he stayed at Real Madrid, and we don't disagree. Inter against Juventus, and the moment he came on, the game changed. It's Francesco Pio Esposito. If you do not know about this striker, a proper target man.
I can see Man City like winning a Champions League, for example,
this season
because of players like Donnarumma that are really important in that type of competitions, and I could see Arsenal winning the Premier League because of the consistency. Episode 25 of the FC Wonderkid podcast. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm extremely excited and thankful for everyone that clicked on this video, and we can promise you we're gonna go extremely bold talking about Wonderkids, and the topic, you saw it in the thumbnail, who will win each of the top 8 European leagues, and who are the Wonderkids that make that happen. But yes, don't think we're only going to mention the winners, okay? We will also mention the contenders and other Wonderkids that went extremely bold in the top 8 European leagues. But yes, thank you everyone that clicked on this video. Thank you everyone who liked on YouTube. It's a huge help for us for FC Wonderkid, liking the video on YouTube and 5 stars on Spotify. Please go bold. It is a big help for us here at FC Wonderkid. And I want to shout out 2 comments from the YouTube comment section of last episode. We had Mo that said, I don't think fullbacks should be winning a Ballon d'Or. And he stated that Alphonso Davies had a better peak than Nunes winning with Bayern the treble. How do you react to that?
No, I cannot agree with that comment because I think Nuno Mendes is in another level when you compare him with other fullback.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if he's Alphonso Davies, if he's Cucurella. It doesn't matter because Nuno Mendes is one step ahead of the others. So
but in the past, you don't think the peak of Alphonso Davies is better than the Nuno Mendes?
No.
I agree.
Nuno Mendes last season,
in the Nations League,
how important he was for PSG winning the Champions League and winning all the trophies, how important he was for Portugal to win the UEFA Nations League. I think it's very difficult for a fullback to reach that type of level, and Alphonso Davies never done it. So.
And I don't think it's Portuguese bias in this case.
No,
okay?
I think.
And we had Youssef also that said, as an Algerian Juve fan, I would love to see Ibrahim Masia at Juve. Perfect signing and has a lot of potential.
Yes, and if Juve wants to win the Serie A again, it's with that type of players, with that type of signings, with young top players that Ibrahim Masia arrived at Bundesliga and make a statement.
Completely.
That he replaced Florian Wirtz, and the way he's playing is one of the best players of Bayer Leverkusen.
I really enjoyed him in Estádio da Luz against Benfica, Ibrahim Masia.
If you sign that type of players, maybe Juve can be great again.
Yeah.
So.
That is a great statement. And we said that Juve has to sign these types of players, like Youssef stated in the last episode. Thank you, everyone. People like Mo, Youssef, commenting in the YouTube's comment section. You will be a part of this podcast. You will appear in the podcast, and we will react to your comments just like we did with these 2 great listeners. But yes, the big topic, we're going to start here with the big league that makes sense, the Premier League. And I'll say it to the people because they're listening, our loyal listeners, that we were watching the Liverpool City second half here together. And what we were witnessing was historical. The comeback of Man City at Anfield. Those are the games that wins titles, correct?
True. It's that type of games that if Man City lost that game, maybe Arsenal would be more comfortable in the leading of the league. But with that type of players, Haaland in the decisive moments, Bernardo Silva, that is very important as well for this Manchester City team, with that huge impact against Liverpool. they said they make a statement that they will fight until the end of the championship, and will be a brilliant fight between Arsenal and Manchester City.
A brilliant fight. Why are you
Yes.
stating it's going to be a brilliant fight? Because I am getting the feeling that Arsenal could be bottling it. Okay, and no,
No.
you don't think there's a chance that Arsenal's going to bottle the Premier League?
There's a chance.
In
but
your feelings.
in my feelings, Arsenal will win the Premier League.
In my feelings, Man City's going to win the Premier League because Arteta, I get the feeling that this is going to be another bottle job. And I even see who's the top scorer of this team. Own goals. Own goals. The guy that I backed so much, Victor Gyökeres, is not the top striker of Arsenal. And I feel sorry for it. And it's not Portuguese league bias. You simply don't play for Victor Gyökeres' strengths. Odegaard is clearly not comfortable with Gyökeres in front of him. Eze is not comfortable with Gyökeres in front of him. I stated, Arsenal, if they don't win the Premier League, it's going to be a bottle job because they don't have serial winners. They don't have killers in the forward line. Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Gyökeres, Madueke, Eze, none of them are killers. Eze at Palace was magnificent. Madueke had great stints at PSV. But at Arsenal, I'm not seeing that player that is a key player attacking-wise like I see at City with Haaland, Semenyo, Cherki, Foden at times. But Cherki, Semenyo, and Haaland, they have goal involvements when City needs. And the Semenyo and Mark Gahey signings are the two signings that win you Premier Leagues. Ug Vienna Masterclass, the sporting director of Man City, and Semenyo just elevates this team to a whole entire level. Semenyo, Haaland are the best two forward players in the Premier League this season. And if you see how City played the last game, in 4-4-2 in many moments. Haaland and Semenyo, okay? They were not with the formation 4-4-2, but football is so dynamic, and you, the listeners, must know. You play in so many formations in so many moments.
Yeah, true.
Ruben Amorim is not a 3-4-3. Guardiola is not a 4-3-3. He always changes things.
Yeah.
And Semenyo with Haaland, in many moments, they play in 4-4-2, and that is scary.
And that's why I state that Pep Guardiola is the best manager of all time, because it's true. The way that, for example, José Mourinho couldn't adapt in the best way to become to stay as an elite manager.
But Guardiola is judged for not winning the Champions League at Bayern Munich.
Okay, but
And Jupp Heynckes won it straight away after.
yeah, but he won the Bundesliga every single season,
Which Bayern already won in the past.
But it's difficult. I think it's very.
It's a
difficult.
bold statement to say that Guardiola is the best manager of all time.
I don't think it's bold.
Tactics-wise, I can agree. But being a manager is more than just tactics. It's managing a locker room, managing a club. Sir Alex Ferguson managed everything at Manchester United.
But Pep Guardiola won the Champions League with Barcelona, won the Champions League with Manchester City, won a lot of Premier Leagues with Manchester City.
You said two clubs, with Barcelona and Man City. Sir Alex Ferguson won the Champions League equivalent with Aberdeen and with Man United.
Okay,
And winning at Aberdeen is quite difficult too.
It's quite difficult, okay, but
I'm just being devil advocate
I
here.
think that the way that Pep Guardiola adapted and the way that he's in elite level, how many years is in the elite level, Pep Guardiola?
It's
Since
at least 20 years now.
Yeah, and it's very difficult because you saw a lot of managers that are really good in some seasons, a lot of seasons, but they can't adapt to the modern football or to the football is always changing, and Pep Guardiola knows that, and he's always adapting. I think he's a genius
Completely.
in terms of tactics, and I think he's also a good human being, and I think that he can also handle the dressing room. It's not just tactics.
I
think,
agree,
in my
but I
opinion.
just think the best is a completely bold statement. But let us know, who do you think is the best football manager of all time? Okay, because I still put Sir Alex Ferguson, even though I can respect your opinion in regards to Pep Guardiola. And I do put José Mourinho in front of Arsene Wenger, okay? No doubts in my mind. Okay. But yes, this is a whole different conversation in which we can have this topic in other podcasts. But going back to the Premier League title race, you're not getting this feeling so that I'm getting that Arsenal could be bottling. And we are filming on the 15th of February, and Arsenal are currently first in the Premier League, first in the Champions League, in a Carabao final against Man City that I could see them losing it. And they're also in the FA Cup. If Arteta is not winning any trophy, would you sack him at the end of the season?
No.
You wouldn't sack Arteta
No,
if he
I
doesn't
wouldn't.
win the Prem, the Champions League, the Carabao Cup.
Do you remember how Arsenal was before Arteta?
Yes, I remember it.
I think
7-8 years ago.
the way that Arteta worked this team, they are so consistent in every single game, good in set pieces, good defensively, very organized offensively. I think maybe some signings didn't make a lot of sense, like Gyökeres that doesn't fit the style of play. Okay,
Gabriel Jesus fits the style of play.
Gabriel Jesus fits the style.
But
of
is
play.
he the right man to lead Arsenal to win a Premier
Maybe
League?
not. Maybe you need a top striker that fits the style.
And you
of
don't
play.
blame Arteta for that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Arteta needs to get a bit of the blame for not winning the
Maybe,
Premier
but-
League, because getting to the point that you're a contender to the Premier League, I completely agree.
But-
He completely rebuilt Arsenal, but he needs to win it.
Yeah, he needs to win it, but I think it will happen naturally because you are fighting for every single competition. When you are fighting for every single competition, year after year after year, even if this season, they don't win anything, I think it will happen.
It's a bad statement.
It will happen.
It will happen not winning anything. No, it will
no.
happen winning eventually.
Yeah. It
I
will
don't
happen.
know, mate. It's getting to the point that I think it's an Arteta thing too, mate. Because even against, remember the game Arsenal-Man United? Man United put Matheus Cunha in the second half. They put the striker. They made a change for the game to be more offensive in their point of view. I think Arteta, in many moments, just like Rui Borges, maybe against Futebol Clube do Porto, a conservador. He can be very think about the results. He can play for the draw. Play in a way that's. He's not going for the win. He's not going for the title. And Arsenal fans, if you see the forward line, just like I mentioned, there's no forward at Arsenal that is as good as Gabriel as a center back, as good as Declan Rice as a midfielder. And Arteta is phenomenal in the style of play, and those players improving. But for forwards, I don't feel it.
That's a statement of Nemanja Vidic that he said that the attack wins a lot of games, but a good defense wins championships.
True.
And I think that's why Arteta thinks that way, because he knows that he can score a goal in a set piece. You know that if he stays organized defensively, he can win the game as well.
Modern day football, defense and attack wins championships. And if Arsenal doesn't win the Premier League, it's clear proof of that, okay? Because I don't feel it, the forward line. And then I see City that get Mark Guehi and Semenyo. Those are moves to win titles. I really get that feeling.
I feel
but who's the Wonderkid that you think is putting Arsenal in this next level?
I think that there's no Wonderkid that is putting Arsenal in the next level. I think the youngest guy that is that have a huge impact on the team is Saliba, and Piero Hincapié is
And Calafiori.
But
23,
Piero
correct?
Hincapié, 23. Piero Hincapié, is 24 right now, but he's starting to have a huge role in this team, and I'm really liking to see the improvement on Piero Hincapié.
They don't get the center back strong, Arsenal, okay? If we see Hincapié, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhães,
Even
Timber, now
Mosquera,
right back.
that I must say, Mosquera, every time he started for Arsenal didn't lose.
If they
nine wins, 2 draws in the 11 starts.
If they signed forwards as good as they signed center backs, they would have won the Premier League 2 seasons ago.
maybe.
2 seasons ago. So this is what I'm stressing about.
That's why I said the Gyökeres moves was a little bit strange, because Gyökeres is a brilliant player, but he's not to play in that style, in that game style. But again,
and Eze came, and Eze's not playing every game. I don't feel that Eze's a constant starter for Arsenal.
No, he's not. He's not.
So I got big question marks.
And I
feel the pressure is getting to Arsenal at this moment, and Man City thrives under pressure. The Anfield win was a pressure moment that Haaland was like, oh, I got to change the game. Oh, I got to win this game for City. I'm going to make it happen. A goal and an assist. I don't see any player doing that for Arsenal, but Declan Rice and a midfielder having to have such a big impact in the offensive line, that can't be the case. I am going to point fingers at Saka. I'm sorry. I know he has been injured many times this season, but Arsenal is not winning the Premier League because there's no forward player that is grabbing the game on his hand and saying, I'm going to win this for them. Like a De Bruyne did with Man City. Like an Aguero did with Man City. Like a Haaland did already winning a European treble at Man City. I don't feel any Arsenal player being a forward player, not midfielder or defender, that can grab the game off the hand and say, I can resolve this game. Even Odegaard, that I've stated to you, Martin Odegaard is one of the best players I've ever seen live. Because what he does live, the pressure he does, the tackles, the intelligence of positioning, brilliant player. However, he does need to go to another level. Odegaard, in terms of goal involvements, if we're comparing him with Bruno Fernandes, with Kevin De Bruyne, with the best number 10s in the world. Odegaard needs more in goal involvements, needs to be more decisive for Arsenal with last passes, with last goals. I want to see Odegaard becoming one of the best number 10s in the world. He's the captain of Arsenal, that I think it should be Declan Rice too. That is also an issue that Arteta is who appoints the captain. I don't agree with Arteta in many things, but if he wins the Premier League, I should up. And the youngster that I wanted to mention being important for Arsenal, Ricardo Calafiori, and I also think Ethan Nwaneri on loan to Marseille now was important, in the terms of quality of training, quality of the squad and the depth, We can say the same for Max Dowman. All the Arsenal fans, they're screaming. And these guys don't mention Max Dowman, but Max Dowman obviously doesn't have an impact for Arsenal to win the Premier League. But since I said I think Man City is going to win the Premier League, who's the youngster that makes it happen? Nico O'Reilly, Very underrated, and for me, O'Reilly has to be in that plane to the World Cup. Completely deserves, and I could see also Luke Shaw being the left back of England once again. But Nico O'Reilly, for what he offers, he can play in midfield at a high level. At left back, he solved that position for Pep Guardiola. He's extremely underrated and so reliable. We have seen City players, I think you talked about this, in the past, academy players, not listening to Pep Guardiola, like Nico O'Reilly listens, and his career has skyrocketed. We need to appreciate a lot more Nico O'Reilly, one of the best Wonderkids in the Premier League, and one of the main reasons why I think City is going to win the Premier League.
I have here that, in my opinion, the most important young player of the Premier League this season.
Most important?
Young player of the Premier League this season will be Ryan Cherki, in my opinion.
For me, Matheus Fernandes, because West Ham would have been relegated without him.
It's a good name. It's a good name because the consistency. Maybe Matheus Fernandes is more consistent than Ryan Cherki. But Ryan Cherki appears when the game is difficult, he can unlock the game offensively.
That he's not a must-starter still, Ryan Cherki? I don't understand that.
He's not a must-starter. I think Manchester City...
he is.
For me, he is, but Manchester City has a lot of options, a lot of elite options. You have Jeremy Doku, you have Phil Foden, you have Semenyo, you have...
But there's some players at City, I agree. I think
Bernard
Cherki,
Silva,
Nico O'Reilly are two of the players that are they're important. But Ryan Ait-Nouri and like a Phil Foden at given moments, they can change, they can substitute them. But Haaland, Semenyo, Marguehi, Ruben Dias, Donnarumma, for me, those are the untouchables. You cannot substitute them, even though Guardiola and all this, How do you think the City defense is going to play with Guardiola, Marguehi, and Ruben Dias?
I don't know. Maybe Guardiola, maybe the
left back,
and maybe Nico O'Reilly will play more in the midfield.
So many options. This is why City is going to win the Premier League, in my opinion. And even in the Champions League, Donnarumma. Let's talk about Donnarumma too, I know we're youngsters, but Donnarumma, let me fact check this soon. 26, Donnarumma. So Donnarumma, at the age of 26, has played so many professional games. He carried Italy to win the Euros. He carried PSG in defense against Arsenal, scoring 0 goals against PSG in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Donnarumma was the reason why. And now, if he's winning the Premier League in his first season at Man City, that is so bold.
Do you think he is the best goalkeeper in the world, Donnarumma?
In terms of build-up, no. But in terms of...
No, overall. I don't care. Overall.
Would I pick anyone ahead of Donnarumma? No. I would not pick any goalkeeper ahead of Donnarumma.
I agree, and I think that the distance for the second place is very high. So
No, the best goalkeeper in the world is Courtois.
No, right now it's Donnarumma, in my opinion.
Let me just see one thing. The age of Donnarumma.
It's 26.
26?
It's 26.
Pá, I think Courtois, Donnarumma, I think it's very neck and neck. He's 26, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay.
It's very neck and neck between the two. However, I can say Donnarumma, yeah. I could say Donnarumma.
I think Donnarumma is the best one right now. And I think the distance for the second place is too much. It's very different. The way that he appears in the important moments in finals, semi-finals, the way that he saves, how he saved PSG last year, and he's now saving Manchester City. I can see Man City like winning a Champions League, for example,
this season
because of players like Donnarumma that are really important in that type of competitions, and I could see Arsenal winning the Premier League because of the consistency. And that's how I see it. But I want to say something about Nico O'Reilly as well. You said it, and very well, that a lot of elite young players that were in the Manchester City Academy couldn't make to the first team, like becoming relevant players like Cole Palmer, Liam Delap, Romelu Lavia.
Rico Lewis now.
Rico Lewis, come on, he played a lot of games for Manchester City first team, but Jeremy Frimpong, Jadon Sancho, for example, a lot. The list is enormous, but the thing is, Nico O'Reilly. The difference is Nico O'Reilly is very versatile, very versatile. He can play as a midfielder, attacking midfielder, as a number 6, as a number 8, as a left back. The guy can do all the work, and I think that was very important for him to become a crucial player in this Manchester City team.
Completely agree.
And I think that's one thing that Pep Guardiola appreciated. One guy that can do it all. So
I completely agree with that statement. And yes, Nico O'Reilly can be mentioned as the most important player for City if they're winning the Premier League. Now, mentioning other Premier League teams too, we haven't had the chance, and we still haven't even talked about since you arrived here. Thomas Frank being sacked from Tottenham, Igor Tudor now being the interim, a man that can control locker rooms. Okay, Igor Tudor being in the Serie A with a lot of experience. He's known for doing just that. What was your reaction about this? Because Tottenham trust the youth more than signing Premier League proven players like Ange Postecoglou mentioned in the overlap. It was a great episode.
Yeah. The thing is, I think one thing that I really see as well in the Ange Postecoglou statements was the mentality of the club. They feel that it's not how do I say it?
A culture.
It's not a culture to win trophies in that club. And it's very difficult to change a mentality like that. Of course, if a manager wants to sign Premier League proven players with 25, 26 years old, and the board decides to have other strategy, it's okay. But I think the strategy has to be according with the managers, with what the manager wants.
Has to be a work from the manager with the sporting director, with the president.
And the scouting department. All have to be connected.
Yes.
If the manager has one idea, the board has another, and the board take decisions without the manager wants
that has happened many times at Tottenham. Even I can recall when it was André Villas-Boas.
Yeah.
Okay, that he wanted João Moutinho.
Even Conte, I remember to saw him in
True.
But I think that's the main problem of Tottenham. That's the main problem. And if it continues like that, it's very difficult to win a Premier League. If you are a Tottenham fan, it's very difficult right now.
Who would be the ideal manager? Who would be the ideal manager for Tottenham next season?
I think the ideal is the board to back the manager, to back the ideas of the manager. If that happens, maybe Ruben Amorim could be a good option.
No, please, no. Ruben, if you're listening to this, don't go to Tottenham.
I think it's a difficult choice for his career. It's a difficult choice because if he doesn't have success again...
Inter or Juve, please. Spalletti with Juve and Keith was doing a great job at Inter.
I'm talking in the club point of view. In the club point of view.
Okay. Not Ruben Amorim's point of view.
If I was Ruben Amorim, I wouldn't go to Tottenham.
Inter, please.
But
If
if I was a Tottenham sporting director, I would try to sign Ruben
De
Amorim.
Zerbi, no. Since he did a good job at Brighton also. But De Zerbi, the way he leaves Marcel.
I think, but De Zerbi, I saw that training that he shots at Ismail Kone.
I saw it.
De Zerbi is a brilliant tactician.
Francesco Farioli was a former assistant
Don't get
manager
me wrong,
of
but
De
I think
Zerbi.
the way that he handles the dressing room is always too destroying.
You know who I think? I think the next Tottenham manager is going to be Oliver Glasner, because Crystal Palace being a London team too, he doesn't need to move homes, okay? He's at home being in London, and he did change Crystal Palace, okay? Palace is in their best form maybe of ever, okay, in their history. Wharton, they got many players that have improved massively under Oliver Glasner, and I think at Tottenham he could have a similar fate, okay? I think Tottenham, with what he did at Frankfurt in the past, with what he's done at Crystal Palace, I think it's the most guaranteed move for Tottenham is to get Oliver Glasner.
Maybe it will happen in the next transfer window, but I think it's a little bit of the same story again.
Just please, Ruben. Don't go.
Thomas Frank make a brilliant season at Brentford.
And imagine Glasner with Vuskovic at Tottenham next season.
But Vuskovic, it's the Premier League, my friend. Vuskovic is a brilliant Wonderkid, and I think he can start for Tottenham next season. I'm saying this. Must start for Tottenham, but it's not enough. If you want to be in the top four of the Premier League, it's not enough.
Completely.
It's not enough. You need top signings, 25, 26 years old. Right now, you have a lot of Wonderkids at Tottenham.
No, but Conor Gallagher was a good signing in January. No, Conor Gallagher was a good signing. Okay, Solanke, though, for me, 70 million. First of all,
again, it's not enough.
But the thing that I was thinking when I was seeing the Ange Postecoglou interview, he signed one Premier League proven player, Solanke, for 70 million, and he signed 3 youngsters. And I'm thinking, Solanke, 70 million? That is a luxury, okay, to spend 70 million and to get him off Bournemouth. And then they get Evan Nielsen, Kupri, Ryan. Come on, you're being ripped off, Tottenham, completely. This is a team that has signed Eriksen in the past, that they signed Vuskovic a year ago, and you're signing Solanke for more than 60 million? Come on, that is very bad recruitment in my opinion. I'm not saying Solanke is a bad player. I'm simply stating that he shouldn't be above 50 million, okay? Not a player that doesn't even start mandatory for England, not even a second option for England. I put Ollie Watkins ahead of him. Yeah. So that for me is irresponsibility. And Ange Postecoglou stating, oh, I wanted the player. Come on, 70 million still. And Mbeumo was less. Like, that's so much money being spent on a player that I think doesn't match the expectations.
And he was not young.
No, in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I that's what I thought. A bit cringed when Postecoglou was stating that. But I agree with him with the culture, with the ambition to win, and a lot of things. Last thing on the Prem that we have to mention too is Chelsea, because Chelsea trusts the youth more than any other top 6 team, okay? And they played 7 under 23 players against Hull City yesterday in the FA Cup. So, could Chelsea win the Premier League next season, or even go bold this season and make history and win something that we're not expecting, like the Champions League?
I think the Champions League is very difficult.
The 2 times Chelsea won the Champions League was with replacement managers, Tuchel and Roberto Di Matteo.
I find it very difficult, but in my opinion, maybe next season or in 2 seasons, Chelsea can fight for a Premier League. If
2 seasons, next season. No, Felipe, I'm going to point you on the spot.
I don't know.
Chelsea next season, with the players that I'm going to list here, if we say Cucurella, Cole Palmer, Reece James, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandes, Pedro Neto, André Sanches, Chelsea with this team needs to be trying to fight to win the Premier League next season.
They will try. I don't know if it will be enough.
I don't know. It 100% should be, because the salary expenditure of this team is the second biggest in the Premier League, and they're not competing for the Prem. That is unacceptable. I'm sorry.
I think Liverpool next season will be insane, in my opinion.
With Arne Slot?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe with Arne Slot. With Wirtz and with Ekitike. I think Wirtz next season will make a phenomenal season. And I think Liverpool will. It's difficult to stay.
Because I think Wirtz is already doing a phenomenal second half of the season.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
he
think
will-
it's
he
difficult to
will-
say that.
he will.
But what I'm stating is to win the Premier League. Arne Slot, I'm having doubts if Arne Slot is the man to be at Liverpool next season.
I think the Chelsea's defense is not competent enough to win a Premier League.
I agree. Currently, yes.
So,
But in
it's-
terms of fullbacks,
currently, yes, but it's almost the most important thing to win a competition like the Premier League. It's very, very important. You have a lot of talent in the midfield, in the attack. Wingers, Estevão, that can, in 1v1 situations, very strong. They win almost every single 1v1 situation. But if you have a defense that commits a lot of mistakes, game after game, you will, in a championship, in a Premier League, where you need to be consistent, where you need to win games after games, win, like Arsenal did this season, is doing this season, I think it's very difficult.
with Chelsea, I still think the center back issue, I completely agree with you. We don't have two center backs that are the starters of that team.
Yeah.
But in terms of fullbacks, Cucurella, Reece James, Mal Augusto, that is, and Jorel Hato, even for second option at left back, that is better than many teams in terms of fullbacks. I still think Liverpool, even defensive, there's some shaky things there with Liverpool. Konate, Virgil van Dijk, the fullback, Kerkez is playing a lot better, but the right back, Connor Bradley, Jeremy Frimpong, I still think that they could be signing a new right back, Liverpool. I think long term, Liverpool could be more shaky in defense than even Chelsea.
I don't know. I think one player that give me hopes about Chelsea defense right now is Mamadou Sarr.
Oh, yes.
I think that he should start to have a bigger role in this Chelsea team.
And he will. Great game against Hull City.
Great game, but I think what he did is not just this game against Hull City. What he did with Strasbourg, very consistent, a lot of games.
Knows the manager?
Knows the manager. What he did at AFCON was not normal because the two most important games of AFCON, Koulibaly was injured and the guy that played and was very important was Mamadou Sarr.
I was the guy saying that Chelsea had to get Mamadou Sarr in January.
Yeah,
They
so-
had to do that.
And you were right. In my opinion, you were right.
Let's see. Because if I'm right, it's as if Chelsea gets the top 4 in the Champions League, and I do think that's the case. And next season, I do think that Chelsea must have the pressure of competing to win the Premier League. And I don't think, like Arsenal, they're going to bottle it if that's the case. But let's wait and see. I just wanted to give a bit of that jab. And yes, in all this, Man United, we talked loads about Man United in the last episode. There's no Premier League this weekend, so you can see the last episode. Premier League, we have that timestamp, and you can see whatever we talked about Kobe Mainoo, Michael Carrick, and future expectations. But yes, let us know in the comment section down below what are your thoughts about who's going to win the Premier League. Is Arsenal going to bottle it? Last thing I wanted to say, sorry, and we're mentioning Liverpool. Why am I being so, I don't want to say hateful on Arne Slot. I think Liverpool, there's a chance, and I would not let it go. Liverpool have the chance of getting Xabi Alonso, okay? And they must get him, in my opinion. Jeremy Frimpong's not playing. Florian Wirtz was his best with Xabi Alonso. It makes way too much sense for Xabi Alonso to be the new manager of Liverpool. And if I was the chairman, if I was the man to make that decision at Liverpool, I would do it ASAP in the summertime. Lock it in. Xabi Alonso, next manager of Liverpool. And then I believe Florian Wirtz could be competing for a Ballon d'Or in 2-3 years. Jeremy Frimpong would be the solution and the right wing. And yes, there would be loads of signings because you would need to sign players for this style of play. But a player like McAllister, Szoboszlai, they would start many more times in their preferred positions than playing in others, okay? Because Szoboszlai, I don't know if he stays at Liverpool. I'm saying 2-3 years time because they're having tough times to negotiate the contract extension.
I'm seeing
He's
that.
asking 300K, and I do think there's a team that needs a player like Szoboszlai,
And he's
which
the
is
most
Real Madrid.
important player in the team. Or in my opinion, right now, the most influent player on the team, Szoboszlai.
I
in
think
my
Van
opinion.
Dijk. Because if Van Dijk gets injured, Liverpool's done. No, really, I get that feeling. Van Dijk gets injured, Liverpool's done. Okay, nobody can substitute him, but I can understand you in the set pieces. He should be mentioned as a top 3 player for Liverpool this season. We're in complete agreement. But yes, let us know down below. We went loads. We went so bold with the Premier League. We promise we will be a bit shorter in the other leagues. But this is another big league. And I don't know who you think is going to win it, because we didn't mention the Real Madrid-Real Sociedad 4-1 win of Real Madrid in La Liga. They are going extremely bold. So, who's going to win the La Liga, and who's going to be your favorite youngster to make that happen?
FC Barcelona, and of course Lamine Yamal. I think I don't need to justify.
And if it's not Lamine Yamal, Pau Cubarsí being the most important Wonderkid to
of
make Barcelona win La
course.
Liga.
Even against Athletic Madrid, the whole defense of FC Barcelona was horrible.
That Copa del Rey game. Oh my days. What
Yeah.
was your reaction to that?
We already talked on off, but I said it that FC Barcelona without Pedri is in these important games is a very complete FC Barcelona, and I was seeing the game.
No, very complete, very incomplete.
Incomplete.
Yes.
I was seeing the game, and I was always thinking that if Pedri was playing, it would be a complete different game.
Dictating the tempos against Atletico de Madrid. There was no midfielder that would grab the game and just calm things.
Even the influence that he has on other players when you play alongside with Pedri, it's different. And I saw that FC Barcelona filled the absence of Pedri.
And the fouls committed by Atletico de Madrid to the midfielders. Fermin was always going down. There was no time that Barcelona had control in that game. Yeah. And Atletico de Madrid played how they wanted to play against Barcelona. So, that was a tough match. But you said Barcelona is going to win La Liga. So you believe this Hansi Flick high defensive line is going to be solved, these issues that they're going to have, they're having?
Yeah, I think so.
How?
How? I don't know. I think maybe he will adapt. I think maybe he has to adapt. I think the guy is thinking in this problem right now, because if he solves this problem, and if you solve maybe other problems,
I think he's not going to solve it. I think Hansi Flick is not going to solve the issue of the high defensive line, because the problem of the high defensive line has the answer of the solution too, that is score more goals. We're going to suffer, but we're going to score more goals. And that's why he plays in that style of play that is so risky with the defensive line, in my opinion. However, he still believes he can win matches even with this high defensive line defensively.
He believes that he can win, and he can win matches. And the thing is, the midfield of Barcelona against Athletic Madrid, it didn't work.
True.
Let's be honest. Marc Casado played an horrible game. Fermi Lopez played a horrible
Very
game as
difficult
well.
game for Fermi,
Very
yes.
difficult for the midfield of Barcelona. And I saw the problems with the high defensive line, of course, and I think it's solutions for that, because maybe you put some risks in some moments that was not necessary,
Yes.
and maybe they have to work on that. But the thing that I saw was the difficulty for the midfielders to have passing lines, to create chances, to the final third, to accelerate the game and to create chances. I think they had very difficult in that type of situations, and that I think that problem would not happen with Pedri, in my opinion. But again, sometimes the high defensive line it's not necessary. Other times it's more necessary. I think in games against Athletic Madrid and Real Madrid, maybe you will suffer more with this type of strategy than in games, for example, against Elche, when you will have 80% of ball possession and you can have the high line defensively. So
I can agree with your point of view of what you're stating, but one thing's for sure. La Masia is the reason why Kylian Mbappe is not having silverware at Real Madrid, okay? How would you feel if you're Kylian Mbappe and La Masia is destroying the way that they are? And for France too, okay? Spain and La Masia are growing with the Spanish national team, just like we've said in the past. A strong Spanish national team means a strong Barcelona. And Mbappe is not working in terms of silverware at Real Madrid because Barcelona is winning all the trophies. Lamine Yamal is getting all the focus. This must be very tough times for Kylian Mbappe mentally, that in terms of ability, he can state, I am the best player in the world. But then you have Lamine Yamal.
You have to win trophies to prove that.
Exactly, that is winning all the trophies and being so impactful and game-changing in many matches for Spain and Barcelona. Come on, people are going to start questioning Kylian Mbappe. Is he really going to win a Ballon d'Or? Is he really better than the La Masia youngsters? And the answer until now, it's Kylian Mbappe is not better than Lamine Yamal. He's not. In the last 2 seasons, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Lamine has been taking the best out of Kylian Mbappe. He needs to change this. And the fact that we are talking...
is 18 years old.
Exactly. And the fact that we're talking about a La Liga title race, and we need to focus on this. Kylian Mbappe needs to solve this issue. Vinicius Junior, if he wants to get the big bucks like Kylian Mbappe gets, like Cristiano Ronaldo in the past got, Vinicius Junior needs to surpass Barcelona in these next 2 years, just like the last 2 years. He's been overthrown completely these past few seasons. Hansi Flick could be one of the reasons, obviously, the right manager in the right culture, the right appointment by Laporta, but Real Madrid needs to do better. You don't think Real Madrid could win the La Liga, so? This match against Real Sociedad, I gotta say, 4-1, they played well. I was impressed.
I think it will be a fight until the end this season, but I think Barcelona will win it. Of course, Real Madrid has a chance of winning. I'm not saying that they cannot win. They can win, but I think it's more likely for Barcelona to win it. The way I see, because sometimes Real Madrid struggles a little bit against teams that are in the below of the table.
And Trent Alexander-Arnold, what an assist to Gonzalo Garcia. Okay, only a player like Arnold can do that type of cross.
Fantastic.
From the right.
But good finishing as well of Gonzalo Garcia.
True.
Gonzalo Garcia has already 13 goal involvements this season with Real Madrid. Brilliant for a player that in the beginning of the season he didn't. People say that he has not a chance.
But in the FIFA Club World Cup, he proved himself, and that was the reason why he stayed at Real Madrid. And we don't disagree about that completely. But there's an interesting stat I was going to mention at the end, but I'll mention now. Gonzalo Garcia with Mbappe, 0 goals in 574 minutes. Gonzalo Garcia without Kylian Mbappe, 11 goals in 800 minutes. That's a big difference with and without. Gonzalo Garcia clearly plays better without Kylian Mbappe. Or if Mbappe played at left wing and Gonzalo Garcia is striker on his own, that would be a better choice. This can be something that you guys can think about, okay? I think Gonzalo Garcia is not playing to his best because he's playing out of position in many times. But we agree. I think Barcelona is going to win La Liga. It's going to be a tough title race with Real Madrid because Real Madrid didn't win last season. So they got to do better with Kylian Mbappe. However, La Masia is going to make it happen once again. And this argument that Lamine Yamal is one of the candidates to win the Ballon d'Or, this is proven with Barcelona winning the La Liga once again against Real Madrid. So let us know down below if you agree or disagree. Or Atletico de Madrid going crazy and winning it. We don't think that's going to be the case.
I think it's difficult.
But there's also youngsters that we can mention. Rodrigo Mendonça just signed. Pablo Barrios. We were saying Pablo Barrios can be considered the most underrated youngster in the world of football for how important he is for Atletico de Madrid and how less he's talked. If we talk about the Spanish national team, starters, we don't even say Pablo Barrios, and he deserves to be in the discussion.
True. And
top
if he
work
played
rate
in the Premier League, he was all over the place. So
completely.
Pablo Barrios, fantastic player.
He's a better version of Conor Gallagher. Maybe he's what English fans think Conor Gallagher is or was at Crystal Palace at a given moment.
More
Pablo Barrios is better.
Gifted than Conor Gallagher.
Completely. Let's be a bit faster now. I said I was going to be fast. Bundesliga, so Bayern Munich is going to win it.
Yeah, Bayern Munich is going to win it. I think one player that will be very important for Bayern Munich will be Alexander Pavlovic.
We have the same, yes.
The way that his consistency, the way that he contributes to the build-up phase, the way that he can connect the midfield with the attack, very important in the system of Victor Company. But we have to say a lot of names in Bundesliga.
Vincent Company.
Vincent Company, yeah. We have to talk a lot about Lennart Karl, that is his breakthrough season, and he's starting a lot of games for Bayern.
But just want to stay on the Pavlovic. You think Pavlovic should start for Germany in the World Cup?
Yes, of course. No doubts. Even because Kimmich can do as well as right back as well.
Yes.
Pavlovic should start, in my opinion. In my opinion, maybe Pavlovic and Angel Stiller. Both should start.
Great double pivot. Underrated double pivot,
Yeah.
okay? If I see Germany playing with these two, I'm scared. And not a lot of people react that way. And they should. Top
Very
midfielders.
underrated double pivot that can shine in the World Cup and surprise a lot of people.
Great work rate, elite passing range.
Aggressive, both of them aggressive.
Very good mention. And then you have Tom Bischoff also
Tom
with
Bischoff
Bayern
as
Munich.
well, yeah.
But Lennart Karl, we said it, and you still believe it. Lennart Karl should go to the World Cup
Yeah, of course.
because he can be so game changing.
Maybe
for Germany.
he will not start, of course.
Yes.
I think he will be an option in difficult moments that maybe you need to unlock the game in the attack. Maybe Lennart Karl will be important in those moments.
Me as a Portuguese man, I see Lennart Karl coming in the 80th minute. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared, and I'm legit scared. I'm not saying
Yeah.
this in a way just no. I really feel that he can score a goal out of his own.
Yeah.
So yes, Bayern Munich, we both believe is gonna win the Bundesliga. Olise, we've mentioned it so many times, and we disagree about this. I think Lamine Yamal is the best right winger in the world. You believe Olise is as good?
Yeah. I believe, of course, if I was talking, when we were talking about young most important player, I'm talking about under 23.
The
Because
words that you said was Olise should be in the same conversation
As
for
Lamine
best
Yamal.
right winger as Lamine. Exactly.
Yes, and it's true. And the season that he does with Bayern Munich, the numbers, the chances that he creates every single game, it's not normal. And I don't see players creating more chances. These three players, I think they create a lot of chances. And Lamine Yamal, of course, the amount of chances that he creates every single game, it's insane. Michael Olise, every single game is almost every single game the player with most chances created. And other player that also creates a lot of chances but is not talked so much is Jeremy Doku. That I seen every time I see him playing in City, the way that he dribbles, his dribbling is insane, and I think he creates a lot of chances as well.
True.
So when you have wingers like that can create a lot of chances, they can change the game. When your team cannot have a good game, but you change the game because of the chances that you can create individually. I think they are world-class players, Michael Olise and Lamine Yamal.
No, I was going to say, not Doku. Not Doku. That Semenyo is now the starter at Man City. I think should be.
But Lamine Yamal and Michael Olise, I think they are both in the same conversation.
And don't get me wrong. I think Lamine 1, Olise 2.
Yeah.
But the third and the fourth, that's a whole different conversation.
The level is close, in my opinion. Right now, I think Lamine Yamal is 18 years old.
But also, like, what he has in front of him. Like, Lewandowski at Bayern Munich was the best striker in the world. Now he's at Barcelona, one of the best strikers in the world. But Olise has Kane, Luis Diaz, Jamal Musiala coming from injury. So I think Lamine Yamal, if he was at Bayern Munich, he would have as many goal involvements maybe as Olise too.
Maybe.
And at the Bundesliga too. But, however, I agree with you that these two are the two best right wingers in the world. Bundesliga, last mention, Vuskovic too. Best Wonderkid of the Bundesliga.
Vuskovic and Jan Diomande, yeah.
The two best Wonderkids of the Bundesliga.
Yeah. I think...
I would give it to Vuskovic if I had to award someone.
I'm really curious because in the end of the season will be a rookie of the season.
Yes.
And it's between Jan Diomande and Luka Vuskovic. So
and maybe Lennart Karl, no?
I don't
Getting
know.
a shout out.
Maybe. I don't know. I think Luka Vuskovic won the Rookie of the Month already. Third month.
But I would give it to Luka Vuskovic 100% for how important that he's being and how good he is. But yes, let us know down below what you think about the Bundesliga, La Liga, and Premier League until now. And if you're listening 5 stars on Spotify goes a long way. Now, Serie A. Who's winning Serie A and who's the youngster to make it happen?
Inter Milan, of course, will win the Serie A. They are like 11 points ahead of the second place. And the most important wonderkid of Inter Milan, in my opinion, will be Francesco Pio Esposito, that is not starting every single game, but when he comes from the bench, he scores in clutch moments, and he doesn't need a lot of minutes to score goals. And I think he is already being very important, and he will continue to be important until the end of the season.
Going with what you said, Inter de Milan are 8 points ahead of AC Milan, but AC Milan has 1 game less. Okay. 1 game less. So 53 points for Milan. They're going to play today or tomorrow for sure. But yes, there is a big gap between Inter de Milan and the other teams. And yes, we agree. Pio Esposito, I saw the game Inter against Juventus, and the moment he came on, the game changed. It's Francesco Pio Esposito. If you do not know about this striker, a proper target man. Modern day target man.
Yeah.
Because, okay, controlling the ball, he's not the best. Dribbling, he's not the best. But finishing with a header, with his left foot, with his right foot, physically beating a center back in one-on-one, Francesco Pio Esposito does just that. Has to be a player for Italy, okay? Very important.
Course.
And 6 goals and 5 assists this season. Give a chance to this man, okay? Francesco Pio Esposito, you must know the name of this young striker. And the other player, you were the man who talked loads about this player. Petar Susic. He had a great game. If you see the Zielinski goal, Petar Susic was instrumental for that moment. Very underrated Petar Susic. For Croatia, for Inter de Milan. This is a youngster that is being game-changing for Inter de Milan to win the Scudetto if it happens.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I think he's not starting every single game, Petar Susic.
He doesn't start every game, but he started more than 10 games. And that for me is already, like, Esposito hasn't started more than 10 games. Petar Susic has done that. Another team that I think we should mention in Serie A for how good are they being, and youngsters.
Como.
Exactly, Como.
Yeah, of course.
They're a semi-finalist of the Coppa d'Italia. They knocked out Napoli in the quarterfinals, and now they're facing Inter. If Como is winning the Coppa d'Italia after 2 seasons ago being in Serie B and Fabregas rebuilding completely this team, this is historical, and you must pay attention to what is happening at Como in Serie A. This is beautiful to see what Fabregas is doing. Paturina, Nico Paz, Jacobo Ramon, so many talented players that you have to know. And Serie A at Como, it's a beautiful story. And we have to mention here in FC Wonderkid, because Nico Paz is having one of the best seasons of a Wonderkid this season. No doubt, it's impossible for you to name me 10 Wonderkids having a better season than Nico Paz. And Nico Paz doesn't play for a European giant. He's making Como a European giant. And that is beautiful to see from a La Fabrica talent having such an impact. The number 10, so iconic.
And Jacobo Ramon as well, because he's doing a fantastic season. Not so good as Nico Paz. But
for a center back, yes.
For a center back.
Not so good, no. I'll say for a center back, you can't name me center backs that are having such an impactful season in Serie A as Jacobo Ramon.
One of the best of the seasons. Jacobo Ramon, fantastic. And La Fabrica talent. It's very difficult for La Fabrica talents to get into the Real Madrid first team, but they have a lot of talent. And we are seeing with Jacobo Ramon, we are seeing with Nico Paz, we are seeing with Kema Andres at Stuttgart as well. Mm-hmm. And I think we will see in some years again these type of things, because Johan Martinez is 18 years old from Real Madrid Castilla. He will be a brilliant centre back, and I don't know if he will get directly into the Real Madrid first team.
I think this season he should get some minutes. For how poor Asensio is,
I agree.
Play him.
I agree, but you know Real Madrid, it's very difficult.
But I think that's a special player for them. It's generational potential that he has.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and they've already extended with him. Okay, I don't think it's going to be the same as other players. If Asensio gets this treatment, they're going to learn.
Jesus Fortea, for example, that is a right back, is a great talent as well, but I think he will be, he will prove that he is very good in other clubs, just like Kema Andres.
But this is what they do. Como is so good doing this, and we didn't even mention an Alex Val that wouldn't play for Barcelona, and then look, he's going to play now at Como. Oh, what a great management. What a great recruitment. And we had to mention Como in the Wonderkid segment here in Serie A.
True.
Now, Ligue 1. Who's going to win Liga?
I have to go bold right now because I think will be Ercilan
Yes!
to win the Liga.
And the youngster to make it happen is...
Robin Risser, the goalkeeper, that what the guy is doing. Even yesterday against Paris, they won 5-0, but the saves that he made, 1.29 goals prevented. Another clean sheet. I don't know, I think this guy has 10 clean sheets.
I can verify that. Robin Risser is no doubt the best goalkeeper in the French league, okay? And Lens is winning Liga if it happens because of Robin Risser completely. If I'm Deschamps, I am calling Robin Risser for the French national team. Sure. No doubt in my mind. And if I'm PSG, I'm signing Robin Risser for next season.
True.
He's the best Donnarumma replacement, not Chevalier.
I checked right now. 10 clean sheets this season, 9 clean sheets in Liga, 1 clean sheet in Coupe de France.
And in Liga, it's 9 in how many games?
22 games.
Phenomenal.
Almost 50%.
Phenomenal what he's doing.
Fantastic. And only 17 goals
but
conceded.
It's not just the clean sheets. Even the games that he suffers a goal, he's massively important, okay? In terms of goals prevented, in terms of build-up play, he is a modern-day quality goalkeeper. I'd say Robin Risser is the most underrated goalkeeper for how good and how important he's being for Lens. If Lens is winning the French league, they're winning because of a goalkeeper, and he's a youngster. And if we're talking about news of football here in Portugal, England, Spain, nobody's talking about Robin Risser. And he deserves so much more attention.
And maybe Guillaume Rest, for example, had more expectations. People had more expectations about Guillaume Rest. And maybe in this run, Robin Risser will stay ahead of Guillaume Rest. But let's see.
And going with what I said, Lens are the team with less goals suffered in Ligue 1, okay? I see PSG, they suffered 19 goals in 22 games.
Yeah.
Lens, 17. 17! But then goals scored, obviously PSG is in front with that forward line. However, you said at the beginning of the episode, we disagree kind of, defense wins championships. I said attack and defense, but with this statement is showing it. These are facts that are showing what you said.
Yeah, and I think...
and there's another youngster you need to give a shout out to, Mamadou Sangaré.
Yes, and Joan Guidou.
Okay, but Mamadou Sangaré is one of the best young midfielders outside of the top 4 leagues.
Yes.
If I'm a Premier League team, I'm wanting to sign Mamadou.
Yeah, true.
Completely.
True. And I think Lens has a young defense as well. You have as well Ismael Gagnou that is doing a fantastic season and is a centre back of Burkina Faso. And the way that he's consistent in Liga, it's insane. It's good performance after good performance after good performance. Mm-hmm. And
we have Nidal Selik, I see here.
Yeah.
From Bosnia, 19 years old.
Yeah, this squad is the defense is very young but very competent. We have to say, because we have as well Kylian Antonio that is 18 years old and is playing a lot of games as a starter as well. I think Ercilan can win Liga this season because they have the triple of the motivation that PSG has, because PSG is used to win the Liga and it's just one more year, and Ercilan knows that this year can be the year that we shook the world and we beat PSG and we win Liga. I think the motivation is in 200%.
I agree. I agree with what you said in terms of motivation, but from the standpoint of PSG, they're in the peak of their history right now. They won the Champions League last season. They won everything last season, but the Club World Cup that Chelsea won. So I can understand your point of view, but for Vitinha, for Hakimi, for Nuno Mendes, for João Neves, all players, this is the mad thing about PSG right now. PSG are UCL contenders, and various players, it's not just like one or two players, various players would be ideal signings for Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Man City, like we saw with Donnarumma. João Neves, Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, Hakimi would all 100% start for Barcelona, Real Madrid, and City. And this is a special timestamp for PSG fans. Special moment in their history. This hasn't happened in the past. Now they have the players that all the world wants. So I can agree with you with obviously winning the title, and I'm really happy we mentioned this to the listeners because they need to know about these youngsters. But if PSG is winning Liga, if PSG is a contender for the Champions League, it's because of the elite recruitment of Sr. Luis Campos and getting the right players at the right time, like the players I just mentioned. So I really wanted to reiterate, we're witnessing history at PSG. Peak of their history.
Yeah, and I think they can win the Champions League again this season. But
It's true.
It's very difficult. But again, PSG is in the top of his history. But I think RC will choke the world this season. I have to go bold in the Liga.
And now, this is a league, I think we can be fast about it. Liga Portugal will go next. Eredivisie, PSV.
PSV, I think the most important player of the league will be Mika Götze. He's an Ajax player, but will be Mika Götze.
The most important Wonderkid.
Wonderkid of the Eredivisie, but the most important player of PSV, I have to say Ryan Flamingo. Because
No, Gaziarowski. Most important youngster of PSV this season. Gaziarowski.
I think Ryan Flamingo is more
He doesn't start.
Ryan Flamingo starts.
Doesn't start every game. No. He doesn't. Go check. Trust. Gaziarowski, for me, is the most important center back of PSV this season. But I could agree, Ryan Flamingo in last season, he was very good next to Boskagli. But this season, Gaziarowski.
No, you are right.
Gaziarowski, because what I was so surprised, and we said it in the beginning of the season, it was Gaziarowski and Mosquera leaving Valencia are two center backs that could make Valencia a top 4 team in La Liga if they stayed with them. And then PSV just signs such a good player for such an elite signing, Gaziarowski. For me, he's the youngster that completely changed PSV. The player that I think will change in the future is Paul Vanner. To replace Malik Tillman. This season, we still haven't seen that player because we see Gus Till. There's a lot of players that are very important. And Pepe, I won't consider. He is a youngster, but not a Wonderkid. I say Gaziarowski, most important player
and
for PSV.
Gaziarowski cost 9 million euros, and Christian Mosquera, also who was at Valencia, cost 15 million euros.
24 million. Valencia was robbed. With these two center backs.
Completely robbed.
Feyenoord has a Wonderkid that I know some of you are going to be screaming that we haven't mentioned his name. Javier Reed is one of the best young right backs in the world.
Yeah.
And Feyenoord will have a very tough time to keep Javier Reed
in the next transfer window. I think it's very difficult
to Liverpool. To Liverpool, maybe. If Arne Slot is the manager of Liverpool with Ford at the back, he's the best. Javier Reed is a better pure right back than Connor Bradley and also Jeremy Frimpong. For me, he is at 19.
Right now, already.
I would put, if I'm a Liverpool manager, next game, and I have Javier Reed, Connor Bradley, and Jeremy Frimpong, I'm playing Javier Reed.
That's bold.
It's bold, but it's factual. Back me up, Feyenoord fans, okay? Because this man, Javier Reed, has to be in the World Cup. Very underrated. And if I'm talking here of youngsters important in Eredivisie, I got to mention that name, okay? I got to mention Keith Smith, the name that everyone's talking. But these past few weeks, I've been a bit disappointed. He's not playing. Yeah. He's not playing, okay? So Keith Smith, please come back to playing. But quick reaction. How do you react to Keith Smith being evaluated more than 50 million?
I was not surprised, to be honest.
I'm a bit surprised considering Tijano Reinders have left Azelkmaar for like 25 mil. Pavlidis left for less than 30 mil.
The guy is 19. The guy is 19 and he's a crucial starter, a crucial player for Azelkmaar.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not surprised for Keith Smith's quality. I'm just surprised Azelkmaar are going to like double their biggest sale in their history. Their biggest sale was like around 30 million.
Was not 19.
No. But it was around like, I think it's like Reinders, Pavlidis, and there's one more that I'm forgetting that left Azelkmaar recently. However, it was not above 30 million, and now we're seeing Keith Smith above 50 million, 60 million price range. It's very bold. That's a big jump.
It's a gem. It's a gem, and I think Pavlidis was sold at Azelkmaar very old. I think he was 27. 27, 28.
Younger.
25.
Yeah.
But
around 25.
Reijners was what, 22, 23?
He's 27 now, so 2 seasons ago, 25, yeah.
Okay. But Keith Smith is 19. The potential, the progression that this guy can have is a lot bigger. So I think that's why Keith Smith costs 50 million euros, because he's already a crucial player for the team at 19, and he's not usable.
But look at
all.
these. The last transfer window. Not the last. The summer transfer window. AZ Alkmaar sells Ernest Poku, underrated Wonderkid, for 10 mil. They sell David Moller-Wolf to Wolves for 12 mil, which is a good player. I like him. Ruben van Bommel to PSV for 15 mil. These are not numbers remotely close, and I do agree with you. Keith Smith is much better than the names that we mentioned. I'm just skeptical. They're gonna sell someone for 50, 60 million. So I don't know, and I don't know who's gonna spend that money for Keith Smith too. People say Real
Premier
Madrid.
League clubs, maybe.
It's Mr. Jorge Mendes, the agent of Keith Smith.
Yeah. I think it's Jorge Mendes.
Just like with Lenioro, he did a great 60 million
But
price tag
right
for him.
now, the Wonderkids cost a lot of money. You saw that what
But who's
Rafael
signing
Pimenta. What?
Who's signing Keith Smith?
You
And
said
we'll talk
Newcastle.
about that. I said
You said
Newcastle.
Newcastle, and maybe it could happen.
Yeah,
I
Newcastle has the
I
money
think
to spend for
Barcelona
Keith
will
Smith.
not spend 50 millions on Keith Smith.
When they have Fermin Lopez, Daniel
They will
Mogavi,
not.
please
They
no.
will not. Real Madrid could spend that type of money in that type of player. I think
Arsenal, if Odegaard leaves.
PSG could spend that type of
Arsenal.
money.
I think Arsenal should be lining up for a Keith Smith.
I think Arsenal will not trust a 19-year-old to play because you have
Yeah, and
as
then
well,
you have Max Dalman
and
in
you
one
have
area.
Max
No,
Dalman,
it's true. I'm
I
thinking
think
out loud.
It's very difficult. I think Premier League, maybe Newcastle,
Tottenham with Xavi Simons and Keith Smith behind the striker.
Tottenham,
The
yes.
Dutch duo to make the
Yeah,
difference.
Tottenham.
We're going on a roll here. Let us know down below, who do you think where should Keith Smith go? And yes, now last leagues but not least, Liga, Portugal. What are we thinking here? We got to talk about Liga Portugal. Who do we believe is going to win Liga Portugal? We're Portuguese. We talk loads about this. In September, I stated that Futebol Clube do Porto was going to win Liga Portugal. And if I think that's going to happen, it's because Rodrigo Mora is going to go both for Futebol Clube do Porto. Samu is injured for Futebol Clube do Porto. Big injury of a Wonderkid. Incredibly sad about that. The solution of Futebol Clube do Porto to win the title is Rodrigo Mora completely. He has 1 goal and 1 assist right now in the league.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you at the end of the season in the league, that is going to be 5 times more easily. 5 goals, 5 assists. He's going to be the game changer of Futebol Clube do Porto to win the league if it happens. And with that, he gets a chance to go to the World Cup. Just like Matheus Fernandes, I'm always stating in every podcast, should go to the World Cup for Portugal. But Rodrigo Mora, in terms of talent, there's a real chance he can be the most talented player ever leaving Olival in 5-10 years' time. Vitinha is the most talented player at the age of 25. Rodrigo Mora at 18, the sky's the limit. The Ballon d'Or can happen one day for Rodrigo Mora, and to win the league with Futebol Clube do Porto this season, and to be the solution in the second half of the season with Samu's injury. Come on, Rodrigo, eu acredito em ti. Make it happen. World-class potential with Rodrigo Mora. Remember the name.
I think if I had your opinion that Futebol Clube do Porto would win the Liga Portugal, I would choose Victor Froholt as the most young, important player of the team.
And you are being factual and you're being right.
Yes.
Okay? I'm being a bit biased on Rodrigo.
The way that he contributes to the Futebol Clube do Porto game, it's the consistency all along the
But
season.
we can agree he dipped. He
little
dipped a bit in form, and that's why Futebol Clube do
Yeah,
Porto is
a
not
little bit. I
looking
agree.
as dominant as they were at the start of the season.
I agree. But I think Porto will bottle, and I think Sporting Clube Portugal will be the champions of Liga Portugal.
Tricampeão.
Tricampeão.
Sporting Clube Portugal.
And I think maybe the most young important player.
No doubt.
No
João
doubt.
Simões.
I would say Usman Diomande, but of course João Simões. I hope so. But I think Usman Diomande will have a huge role.
I'll go back.
In the second half of the season.
In terms of how good he is as a player, in terms of ability, no doubt Diomande for a center back is better than João Simões for a midfielder. However, in terms of center backs, Inácio, De Bast, okay, no more Matheus Reis, but Matheus Reis was there. Midfielders, Morita, Morten Huilman, João Simões.
Yeah.
So he needs to be much more of a solution. And I do think in terms of some games, he
I
was
think João
very
Simões
important.
is already better than Morita, in my opinion.
The best partner to play with Morten Huilman,
Yeah.
João Simões.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We mentioned
right now,
Rodrigo Mora,
already.
Giovanni Kenda, all these top youngsters, but João Simões,
He's not talked too much.
and he should be talked a lot.
Yeah.
And if Sporting is being tricampeão, it's João Simões being very important in 2 of the seasons to make that happen. Sporting wouldn't have won the league without João Simões last season.
True.
And now this season, 100% wouldn't win without João Simões. You have to get the tricampeonato. That would be insane, mate.
That would be insane, yeah.
Oh, so
Let's see. I think it will
top
be
8 of the Champions League
top
2,
8.
Sporting Clube Portugal.
I think it will be a great fight until the end between Porto and Sporting, and I like championships like this with fight and emotion until the end.
And they faced already 2 times.
Yeah.
Porto got the best out of Sporting in the 2 games. 1 win in Alvalade and a draw recently, last week.
Yeah, true. And I think Benfica will end in the 3rd place. I think Sheldrup and Prestiame will have a great second half of the season.
As they are, they're having
and
it
they
since
are
the Real
having,
Madrid
and they
game.
are proving
Sheldrup's
that
changed.
they deserved already to start for Benfica.
Banjaki should start for Benfica at the right back spots. I love Dedic, but Daniel Banjaki is, for me, the best possible signing that Barcelona can do to have behind Lamine Yamal in the future. I've seen already loads of reports stating Banjaki going to Barcelona. I hope it's in 2-3 years' time. Leave him at Benfica until the age of 2021 minimal, okay?
Yeah.
However, if I am seeing in the future Daniel Banjaki, Lamine Yamal, no doubt in my mind, Barcelona fans, you will have the best right side in football 10 years. 10 years minimal, because Daniel Banjaki has the potential, just like Nuno Mendes when he was 17, 18, 19, more Nuno at 19, where he showed his true potential. Banjaki at 17 shows those same levels. That's such a high standard defensively and offensively. Inevitable. One of the best right backs in the world in terms of potential, Daniel Banjaki, and I really want to state that with Benfica. And Anísio Cabral too. We got to mention Anísio Cabral too. That is the second striker of Benfica behind Pavlidis, not Ivanovic. Great development for Jose Mourinho to trust these under-17 players.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. And also other player that I really like and is not having so many chances is Diogo Priost of Benfica. He's 20-year-old.
Good work rate. He's been at Benfica base so long,
so
right?
long. He deserves.
He's 21, 22.
Yeah, he's 21 right now, I think.
I like Diogo Priost too.
And I saw sometimes Benfica B games, and he's the best player of Benfica B. Also, Gonçalo Moreira is
True. In the youth league, so many so many goals.
And he scored a brilliant goal yesterday for the second team of Benfica. And I think Benfica has a lot of talent, but they need to trust him.
Agreed.
It's the same problem.
Like they did with Renato Sanches in the past, João Felix in the past, many players made in Seychelles in the past. But last but not least, we need to be fast. Pro League, who's going to win it? I bet yes, Youngster.
Club Brugge and Alexander Stankovic, in my opinion. And I think Inter Milan will activate the buy clause of Alexander Stankovic.
13 million, correct? Or 15 million? It's less than 20 million, the buyback clause.
It's less than 20 million, but I think it's 18.
If that's the case,
I don't know.
Pay it ASAP, okay? Alexander Stankovic.
Yeah.
We agree.
I think the buy clause will increase in 2027.
And I'm sorry, Belgium fans, that could be clicking on this video because we could maybe go in depth with the Belgium League. We talk loads about Belgium talents in the FC Wonderkid podcast, but because of time, we exceeded a bit in other leagues. We'll talk more of the Belgian League, the Pro League in future pods. Karetzas is a weekly mandatory mention. We always do. I just did it. Konstantinos Karetzas. Mats Mets, we also love. And Joaquin says that Club Brugge impressed me when I went to see Club Brugge Sporting. Yeah. I loved that match that he did, even though it wasn't the best match for Club Brugge. True. Last but not least, our final thoughts in the FC Wonderkid podcast. So, what's one question that Philippe is going to do to me? I'm going to question Philippe also, Wonderkid related, but this is a chance also, if you're listening to the pod until now, put a question down below in the YouTube comment section, and we will answer it next podcast, episode 26. My question for Philippe Souza, you're going to like this because you're talking Rafael de Pimenta, and I'm sure it's because of Gilberto Mora that you were going to talk about Rafael Pimenta. Confirmed?
Yeah.
So, would Gilberto Mora start for these teams? Starting Ajax Amsterdam.
Yes.
Benfica.
Right now.
Right now. Benfica.
No.
Strasbourg.
Yes.
I would put him next to Valentin Barco, mate.
Yes.
Dortmund.
No.
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 Atlético de Madrid.
No.
Juventus.
No.
Man United.
Right now, no.
So he would only start, in your opinion, for Ajax.
Yeah.
I
Right
think
now.
for Benfica he would start Gilberto Mora.
Sudakov.
Sudakov?
I really like Sudakov.
Hey, Sudakov! No,
These
I
guys,
wouldn't- but wait. You'd play Gilberto Mora at the 10.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
would
he's going to play.
more at the 10. He's a number 10.
I think
He's a
ideally,
number
I
10.
think he's going to be an 8 in Europe.
I don't know.
I really think he's going to play at the number 8 position, like Pedri.
I don't think he has the necessary work rate to play as a
I
number
think
8.
that's a right now type of thing. Right now, we haven't seen Gilberto Mora having that work rate because he isn't in Europe. But in terms of technique, I don't see Gilberto Mora having the goal involvements to be a number 10 in Europe. Personally. But in terms of dictating the tempo, in terms of ball conduction, I won't disagree
He can
with
play
you.
as a number 8 and as a number 10. I think he more easily he gets goal involvements than gets that work rate that is needed to play in the midfield.
I see Benfica. I see Manu maybe being a starter. Enzo Baranachena long term, I'm not sold. Richard Rios, maybe Gilberto Mora. Or Manu Silva, Gilberto Mora. I know. I don't know. I'll say more as an 8, but you say more as a 10. Let us know in the comment section what do you believe Gilberto Mora will play more here in Europe, okay?
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure. He will become the most expensive player to leave the Mexican League ever, Gilberto Mora. And I hope it's the Ajax or Sport Lisboa Benfica because I think it makes way too much sense for these two teams to sign a player like him.
And Ajax has already a lot of young talent. They signed Maher Carrizo, and if they sign Gilberto Mora, I think they will not pay 30 million for.
It's 30 million. They have
Rafael
to pay.
Pimenta said that.
They have to pay the 30 million for Gilberto Mora. Come on, because Gilberto Mora fits the style of play of what team the best?
FC Barcelona.
And what team has the same philosophy as FC Barcelona?
Ajax.
Gilberto Mora has to go to Ajax if he's not starting for Barcelona long term. That's my shout, but let us
It
know
would
what
be
you
a
believe.
great option for his career.
Ah,
A good option.
I like this was good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I think he would start for many more teams, personally.
Right
Even
now,
Dortmund.
I think he has the
Even
potential.
Dortmund, I think there's a chance. Even Dortmund.
I don't know. No, right now I think it's difficult.
Difficult it is. But Gilberto Mora would manage to get that obstacle. What's your question for me, Flip?
So I have here: will Giovanni Kenda start for Chelsea next season?
At the start of the season, no. At the end of the season, yes. Giovanni Kenda will prove himself to be a starter at Chelsea. Just like Estevão is not a starter right now. And I think he should be 100% a starter in the second half of the season, Estevão. I think Kenda will pass through the same experience. And I stated, Estevão and Kenda are the two players with Ballon d'Or potential at Chelsea. Cole Palmer, obviously, too. True. But Kenda and Estevão, at the age of 18, they're the two best right wingers behind Lamine Yamal under 20s. Teenagers. So it makes too much sense for me. They have to sign those types of players.
Yeah.
Kenda has to get to that point. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's not certain. It's not a certainty because nothing at Chelsea is a certainty right now. I don't even know if Pedro Neto is going to stay next season. And for what he's done, no doubt Pedro Neto should stay at Chelsea next season. One of the most underrated wingers in the world. Liam Rossinier just said he's world class. And people were saying, oh, see, the world-class level is so much worse now. No, Pedro Neto is just really good on and off ball. And that for a modern day is a mandatory thing to have.
Yeah.
So, interesting question. Enjoyed it. Let us know down below your questions to us, and we will answer it next podcast. Thank you so much for going bold with us. With this topic, we stick to the topic the whole episode. So you state, who do you think is going to win each of the top 8 European leagues, and who is the youngster to make that happen? Thank you, everyone, for listening to the FC Wonderkid podcast until now.
Thank you.
Thank you for going bold, and next week, we promise we're going to go bolder.